At 2:17 a.m., when the world feels half dead and half dreaming, her phone rang. And that alone should not have been strange, except for one detail that still refuses to make sense, no matter how many times this story is told. The call did not exist, no missed call, no incoming number, no record, nothing, yet she answered it, because in that moment the sound felt real, vibrating against the wooden knitstand, slicing through the silence of her apartment, like a warning that chose her and only her. And as she lifted the phone to her ear, she expected static or silence. But instead, she heard her own breathing coming back to her, delayed by half a second, as if someone else was holding a phone on the other end and mimicking her life in real time. And before she could even speak, a voice whispered her name in the exact tone her mother used when she was a child and about to make a mistake she could not undo. And that was when her stomach dropped, because her mother had been dead for 3 years. And the voice didn't sound like a memory or imagination. It sounded present, warm, aware, and personal, asking a question that no stranger could ever know, a question about a locked drawer in her childhood room that no one had opened since the funeral. And as panic crept into her chest, she pulled the phone away to check the screen, only to see it was blank. No call timer, no signal bars, no interface at all, just a dark reflection of her own terrified face staring back at her. Yet the voice continued, as if the call had never been interrupted, calmly explaining things she had never told anyone, secrets she buried so deep she convinced herself they never happened. And every sentence felt less like a conversation and more like a confession being forced out of her soul. And then the voice said something that made her blood run cold. It said this call was not for her, not originally, that she had only answered because the person it was meant for was already gone. And when she demanded to know who that person was, the voice paused, smiled in a way you could hear without seeing, and said her name again, slower this time, like it was tasting it. And then the line went dead. The room fell silent. And the phone returned to normal. No record, no history, no proof, except for the fact that the battery was completely drained, even though it had been fully charged minutes earlier. And from that night on, strange things began to happen. Small at first, easy to ignore, like hearing her phone vibrate when it was nowhere near her, or seeing the screen light up with a call that vanished the moment she looked directly at it. But soon the calls came back, always at the same time, always without existing, and each time the voice knew more, predicted things before they happened, described accidents seconds before they occurred on the street below her window. And one night it warned her not to leave her apartment the next morning. But she did anyway, because fear can only control you for so long before pride convinces you it's all in your head. And that was the day a bus jumped the curb exactly where she would have been standing if she had left her building 30 seconds earlier. And that was when she realized the calls were not just haunting her, they were guiding her, steering her away from something she could not see. And right here, before this story goes any further, if you read the kind of person who loves true creepy mysteries that blur the line between coincidence and something far darker, this is the moment to pause, subscribe to Creepy Vanish, and leave a like, because stories like this only get stranger the deeper you go, and your comment might just decide which mystery we uncover next. And as the calls continued, the voice slowly changed, becoming less familiar, less human, its words sharper, colder, as if whatever was on the other end was getting tired of pretending. And during the final call, the one she would never forget, the voice admitted the truth, that the call had never traveled through towers or satellites or networks, that it came from a place where time folds in on itself, where moments leak into each other and mistakes echo forever, and that she had been chosen because at some point in her future she would make a decision so devastating it would tear a hole through more than just her own life. And the calls were not meant to save her, but to delay her, to buy time. And when she asked what would happen when time ran out, the voice whispered, "You will be the one calling next." And the phone slipped from her hand and shattered on the floor. and the call stopped completely. Weeks passed, then months, and she slowly convinced herself it was over, until one evening she bought a new phone, logged into her account, and saw something that made her hands shake. A single outgoing call in her history, placed years in the future, to a number that did not exist, with a call duration listed as infinite. And if you're re-listening to this right now and feeling the urge to check your own call log to make sure nothing strange is waiting there, ask yourself this: if your phone rang tonight and there was no call to answer, would you still pick it up? And if a voice on the other end knew everything about you, every secret, every regret, would you hang up? Or would you listen? Because some calls are not meant to be made, only answered, and once you do, they never really end.